Don't ever use other weapons and accessories to upgrade any weapon or accessory. I should have stated and made this clear in my basic weapon guide, but I only said that hammers are easy to come by. So for that, I apologize if you watched the basic weapon guide before this one, which you technically should, but let's get into the advanced concepts with equipment. The first page was covered in the basic weapon guide, but just to repeat, use hammers to your heart's content, as these are easy to farm. Never feed other weapons or accessories though. The next page is limit breaking. You are allowed to limit break any weapon up to 5 times. Limit breaks can be done with special hammers and or duplicate weapons. All limit breaking does is raise the level cap so your weapon can become a bit stronger. It's a small benefit at the start, but as we go further into the game, every stat point will start to count. Now there are some guidelines to limit breaking, and I don't even know if I should or can cover them all, but I'll let you know how I handle it personally. For SR weapons like the LNW 2000 and even the SR exclusive weapon, I don't even bother using hammers on these. SR weapons aren't the hardest to get in the world, and since I don't main any SR characters in the late game, I see no need to max limit break their weapons. If you do have an SR on your team in the late game though, go right ahead and limit break using hammers. Now when it comes to SSR equipment and limit breaks, the guidelines become a bit more strict. These green hammers, the SSR limit break hammers, are extremely rare, and not only are they rare, they are valued at around 5,000 gems. Now they are farmable, but that is some super endgame stuff. So for now, accept that they are ultra rare and you shouldn't use them willy-nilly. As for who to use them on, I would only use them on exclusive weapons for my main DPS units. Limit breaking your DPS weapon is more valuable than limit breaking your support or healer weapon, because usually, supports do their job adequately at almost any level, whereas your DPS will always be better off doing more damage. When it comes to duplicate weapons, and if you should use weapon dupes to limit break, in the case of SSR items, it is generally a good thing to keep 2 separate copies of each. This comes in handy for raids mostly, but you never know when having a second copy to give one of your teammates might come in handy. Some people prefer to keep 4 copies, but I'm happy with 2. After that, you can throw the dupes into limit breaks. For SR weapons, I just use the dupes for limit breaks. I don't usually keep more than 1 copy. Now the next page is the option change page, and for this I'll be using Tinia's weapon for illustration purposes. Now first, what are options? Options are bonus stats that come attached to equipment. These stats come in a range, and you can acquire the highest, lowest, or any number in between a given range, and it is RNG dependent. But fear not, as we can change these numbers via a rerolling type system that is quite fair but also quite pricey when aiming for perfection. To do this, we have 2 resources, option change stones which are purple and option lock stones which are red. Both are quite rare, with the lock stones being the rarest of the 2. So let's use a few in an effort to teach you how the system works. Let's try rerolling my Tinia's bow. As you can see, some stats stayed the same, like earth attack. Some stats went down, like defense. One stat went up, which is HP, and one stat disappeared, which is the sub option. Now this isn't a good roll for me, so let's revert the changes. Now looking at my Tinia's bow again, you can see that most of the stats are high rolled, and the sub option stat is actually perfect. Sub options are extra stats that some equipment can unlock. The difference between the sub option and the main option is that you always get the main option stats when you gain the weapon or during option change. But you can lose the sub option stat altogether when rerolling, or it might not be unlocked when you acquire the weapon, which would mean you have to do an option change and pray to unlock it. But fear not, when you have a perfect stat like mine, be it a sub or main option, we can lock said stat so it will never change or be removed when doing option changes. So let's do that now. Since this sub option is the best possible roll, and weapon skill regen speed is perfect for Tinia, I'm going to pay 10 option lock stones to lock it in place. Now I don't remember if there is a limit to how many options you can lock, but I do know it gets progressively more expensive the more you lock, as the cost of the option lock stones increases. With that locked in, we can roll again without fear of losing our perfect sub option stat. When it comes to goals for option changing stats, for DPS units, you typically want the highest roll possible in damage based stats, so elemental attack, skill damage, weapon skill regen speed for your lead characters, stuff like that. You can sacrifice things like defense and HP, as trying to get them perfect for a DPS character will cost too many stones for too little return. Of course, for tanks, it's the opposite. You want as much defense and HP as you can get, and then any other damaging stats should be seen as a bonus. Remember, option stones are rare as a free to play, so choose wisely when you are ready to use them. Use them on your best equipment for your best characters. Now finally, let's go over the evolution tab. I made a mistake in my basic guide by saying that this is only useful for collection purposes. The truth is though, is that it is not only useful for collection purposes, but that for every start you do, you get a decent amount of stats. The problem is that it costs a lot of gold to go up in star levels. To take this gun from 4 to 5 stars, it's going to cost me a whopping 230,000 gold. So my advice stays the same for evolution. I still believe that this is something for you to do mostly at in-game, and I will cover more on this during my collection bonuses guide. But for now, I will leave you with an updated guideline. For most equipment, leave them at the star level they come at, up until really far into the end game. But if there is a piece of equipment that you use on one of your main characters, feel free to star it up to get the extra stats. The last page, Mystery Evolution, actually has very little to do with improving weapons, and is mostly tied to collection bonuses. So that is where we will cover that page. For now, until you fully understand it, I advise you to stay away and leave it alone. Now I flip-flop between saying weapon and equipment in this guide, but everything in this guide applies to weapons, shields and accessories, so use the same rules for all. And that about covers the advanced weapon guide. Until next time, my name is Quickjump and you can look forward to more Guardian Tales videos in the future.